Well, there it was. Ladies and gentlemen, it's going to be an intimate show tonight with some intimate details. Kid book from Pete Goldie. We got the smoke pot guy. Got a box of whippets. Got some questions in the hopper. Right? We got David Caperto there, body surfing the internet. Alright. So, it's all gonna work. It's gonna be great, but there's gonna be something missing. I can't figure out what it is. We got the doorman, right? The K-Rob, we got the sage guy. Alright! The audience, right? That's not a problem. Yeah, the audience thing. Well, you know, it's kind of, it's gonna be an intimate kind of show. It always is. You know, anytime you have any kind of competition, it's not good, you know? The worst day to throw a show on? Mother's Day. You're dead. You're not gonna make it. Second worst show? Anybody?
Day before Halloween?
No, not the day before Halloween. It's the fourth worst day. What's the second worst day to throw a show? Yes?
New Year's Eve?
It's not. Super Bowl Sunday. You will eat shit on Super Bowl Sunday. Halloween. Doing a show on Halloween is bad. The day before Halloween. Though in November, a Friday does fall on Friday the 13th, which is like 7th on the list. So we're not doing great. We would do the show even if none of you came, although we couldn't prove it. Yeah, this is terrible. It still sucks whether the people are there or not. Oh, that happens. We have some special surprises for you guys for being true mavericks in the industry and stuff. And, you know, we're going to talk about space. I present to you the monologues of Pete Goldie, resident astrologer, whose 5-minute mission to revel in the tens of billions of dollars spent by NASA to defend geekdom like no one else's business. Jesus. Hi, Pete. Hi there.
Deedle. Oh, it's on.
Pete, why are you wearing a bee suit?
It's a business suit.
Business. Is that, you were going to try to get a laugh out of that?
Yeah, I worked 18 hours for that joke. I like it. I'd like to introduce my wife, who is in the audience talking about sexy. Sarah Jehovah's Goldie, please stand up. Please put on a mask and scare the bejesus out of her. Woo!
Pete Goldie comes here to defend gas and dust, some salts, other things, molecules, billions of light years away. What do you got for us this week, Pete?
Look at that screen. There you have it. The Ghost Nebula! Spooky Space Report for today. There it is. The Ghost Nebula is actually an interstellar cloud which is catching the strong radiation of a nearby star. Yes, it is dust and gas, glowing and reflecting light. You like that? Look at that. They have a new rocket. They launched a new rocket. This is the Ares 1.
It looks like a jellyfish, kind of.
Yeah, well, that's actually flying through the atmosphere, and the compression, the bow shockwave here, actually causes the moisture in the atmosphere to form a cloud. Everything above this black line is hollow, like many of the NASA programs. Nothing inside, not a damn thing. And they were basically testing that to see if this is going to be how they send American humans into space in the sort of near future, the next couple of years.
So how much did this test rocket cost?
$475 million. Yay! And it's not even half full. It's more than half hollow, empty. Not even there, nothing there.
Imagine.
But you know, 700 instruments are measuring and sensors, picking up this and that. They're not totally convinced that this is going to work. There may be too many vibrations coming from a solid rocket.
Too many vibrations.
Too many vibrations.
I have that problem sometimes.
If you shake the fillings out of the teeth of the astronauts, putting them in orbit, they're not happy. Let's go ahead to other...
Yes, let's go forward towards the end of your presentation.
Toward other spooky things. Spooky space things. Next image, please, David. There you have it.
Whoa.
There it is.
This is on the moon.
Ladies and gentlemen, the smoke pot guy will laugh at anything.
Right there, in the middle of that dotted square, is a dark brown hole. This is the moon. Our moon. The moon associated with the planet Earth. Moon.
Is that the drain plug of the moon?
Which one?
Yeah, that's a dark, spooky cave in the moon.
Sure.
And they put a dotted box around it, and they put it on the internet, and I found it. Spooky, isn't it? Ooh. Yeah, alright.
Excellent.
Okay. Yeah, remember when we used to fly men to the moon before we had those stick-like rockets?
Allegedly flew men to the moon.
Yeah, this is the Apollo 17 landing site. When they took off from the Apollo 17 landing site, they had a 16mm camera attached to the side of the ascent module. And it took these pictures as it ascended.
Allegedly took these pictures.
Yeah. And there's the descent module still on the surface and all their scientific instruments and where the flag fell down and the shadow of the Cassini model flying in orbit overhead. And they made this, of course, this was 1972, so a mere 20, 30, a long time ago, you know, whenever they did the moon stuff.
37 years ago.
Anyway, so we now have the Lunar Reconnaissance Orbiter orbiting the moon every 20 minutes or so. And it took a picture of the same scene. Next picture, please, David.
Flag.
Still there. The footprints still there. All these 37 years later.
Where are they going to go?
The flag is still there where it got blown over, lying on the surface.
That's a smear on a blurry photograph with the word flag and an arrow next to it. Let's just get that clear. That is not a flag on the moon. That is a smudge on a blurry photograph. It is alleged that that's where the flag is, but there is no inconclusive proof that we went to the moon or that that is indeed a flag.
Well, it's probably not a flag anymore because they made those out of polyethylene, and with all the UV radiation without an atmosphere there, it's probably completely disintegrated. It's probably just the flag hole at this point. Oh, by the way, I forgot to tell David Capurro, because I didn't think he was going to be here, and I carefully explained this to the substitute David Capurro, who was going to show it's a miracle David Capurro is here. It's sort of spooky. I'm not even sure he is. Because, no way, you did not ride BART. Is that like the first time in your life? In 3 years, first time in 3 years, that's amazing. But the substitute was going to be this person right here who's wearing the scary mask. My wife was going to be on stage together for the first time since we got married. And it was all ready to show this in the next image, and then David showed up. And David seems to be just ready to serve, just like on my wedding day.
Yeah, but that's not interesting or funny, so let's get back to the show.
People should know what is involved with getting the show together.
Do you?
Yes, the Cassini orbiter has picked up spokes around the rings of the Saturn rings again.
How fast is that going? Is that 33 or 45?
You're sitting closer to the smoke pot guys than I am, right?
I am sitting very close to the smoke pot guys. I can smell them from here. But who gives a fuck about the rings of Saturn? Like, what difference does it make?
These spokes spin all at the same speed, no matter how much of them. These things are spanning thousands of miles. They are moving as one over an area of thousands of miles of radius from Saturn.
But how is that going to help to fix the Bay Bridge so that there's an audience for our show, Pete?
Yay!
Next image, please. Now they start dressing kids up like space shuttles. Why would you dress your
What's the red? I don't get the red.
That's the external fuel tank, and these are the solid rocket motors. And this is very.
Because that's a little phallic for me. I
don't know. Giant penis. Yeah.
Kind of a tongue thing.
Well, they don't always include the external fuel tanks and solid rocket, as you'll see in the next one there. There's just lots of these kids being dressed up as shuttles, and this one they don't even put shoes on the kid. They send him out in his jammies and a shuttle and
in space in your jammies.
His hillbilly town to try and find some candy. Next shot, they just keep up with it. Look at this kid, he's ready to light the fuse. Off he goes. Next shot, but even the dogs, you know, nothing is
supersonic dog.
But there's one costume I can get behind: the Hubble telescope.
Yeah!
Hubble!
This poor little geek kid, and of course he's Asian, is the Hubble telescope.
Wait a minute, is that racist?
Keep your arms up.
Who cares? It was funny.
Yeah, hey, you know, it's a stereotype. Why? Because it's true. Look at him. He's going to go around and everyone's going to be asking him, what are you? And he says, I am the Hubble Space Telescope. And they're still going to say, what are you? And he has to do this at every house he goes to while carrying 2 cinder blocks. Does that make any sense at all?
Keep your arms up.
I don't understand that.
Oh my God.
But the most important thing, of course, is what you dress your own kid as.
You know.
A cute little pumpkin, isn't it?
Yeah.
And we really don't know what she's going to look like, whether she'll want to get into her insectivorous costume tomorrow.
You should dress her up like me. Dress up your child like Chicken John for Halloween. Are we done? Can we keep moving? Pete, talk to me.